Wilder Show podcast. Yeah, I'm Scott. That's Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you way over there? You okay?
Yeah.
We're in the same studio.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just a joke.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to send us email, you can do that. Podcast at wildershow.com. It's podcast at wildershow.com. And the Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your fine podcasts.
Wherever you get your fine podcasts. Or the rest of us. At like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. We're with the other guys. We're with them. So thanks for being here. We really appreciate that. And by the way, thanks for telling a friend about it. It's kind of fun when it grows. Don't you want it to grow? Things that don't grow die, right?
That's true.
Things that don't grow, they die. So help it grow, would you? You don't want it to die. I don't want it to die. So tell a friend, would you? Just share it. Tell everybody, hey, remember that show that and you weren't in the same market and I told you, and yeah, they give you just enough, just twice a week, just enough to make you, I mean, you want more of her.
Not enough to get tired of him.
Plenty of him, but never enough of her, but plenty of him. Anyway, whatever is the thing that gets your friends to join you on a weekly little thing and say, hey, man, I couldn't believe he said, or I can't believe she puts up with, or whatever it is that you would tell a friend. It's usually in the latter category. Maybe both. Anyway, we're glad you're here. We really, really are. We really, really are. Okay, let's dive into some things. And I'm just going to hit this very quickly. The price of eggs is down.
That's good news.
Yeah, well, maybe. It may be.
Not good news?
It's not good news for people who want it to be bad news, right?
Oh, I understand.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so my question is, do people still care about the price of eggs now that the price of eggs has come down? Or is it only like a story if it stays way up here?
I understand exactly what you're saying, but does that ever get into does it get to the reach the level of I don't have time for my brain and all of that. I just want to look at things as they are and know that it is good news or bad news and not worry about for whom it is. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. So the price of a dozen grade A eggs, I think large, declined. It was the first month-to-month drop in egg prices since October 2024. So you say, okay, well that's that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it went down. It went down to $5.12. The average national is $5.12. You may be paying less than that or more than that, but $5.12 for a dozen large grade A eggs. Do you have an egg brand that you like? Do you pick a brand? I do actually.
I like.
What do you like? You like the brown ones, don't you?
No, it's not even really that I like them that much.
But
I've bought recently based on price.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like the Vital. I like the Vital Farms.
Really?
The Vital Farms.
What is Vital Farms? I don't know about that.
Cage free, free range. I don't know. They're
Play them Rachmaninoff there in the hatching pen. Not pen, but
I like it when they get to be calm
hatching error
and wander on their own.
That's good.
Wander free around the yard.
What are you doing? I'm not really doing much. What are you doing? I'm laying some eggs. I think I'm going to go do that myself. I wasn't going to lay them before, but I'm feeling so good. I'm going to lay some eggs. But you're a boy chicken. Anyway.
Usually I just buy, I think I buy the store brand often than not.
I like Eggland's best. I do.
I've bought those too.
I like the, and this is really stupid, I'm sure. I like the crate that it comes in. It seems secure. I know they all come in similar crates.
Is it a paper crate or is it a styrofoam?
No, it's styrofoam, but it seems extra sturdy.
Okay.
At least to me. Those, and I remember I used to work at a grocery store, so I was eggs that were broken and all kinds of stuff dealt with all the time. Those paper ones in some of the refrigerated sections or the back room.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are drips and leaks, and when those things get wet, man, they are not sturdy at all.
Not at all.
To keep the eggs. And plus, styrofoams, I want to support the styrofoam industry, all the guys that work in the styrofoam mines. The best part about working in a styrofoam mine, the stuff you're bringing out is kind of light.
Got to carry a lot of styrofoam on your back for it to be heavy.
If I could do any job other than this is my favorite job, I would want to work the lathe making styrofoam cups. You get a big log of styrofoam. You put it on the lathe, silly. And you go yee, back and forth.
How silly this is.
We'll edit all this. We'll edit all this.
Looking at the audience right now. This is the first time you've heard this. I've heard this so many times.
Now, to be fair, a lot of it is when I'm quite certain you're not paying attention to me, and I just say something just to see if you're even paying attention.
That's probably how it started.
Yeah, you should hear the things that I say that you don't ever hear because you're really not paying attention. Anyway, the price of eggs has declined to $5.12, and I said it's the first month-to-month drop in egg prices since October 24. Now, overall, the average price of eggs has fallen, stay with me here, has fallen 12.7%. That is the steepest monthly decline since 3 years before you and I met.
Are you kidding?
I'm not. 40 years ago was the closest steep decline as to what just happened.
Okay.
What just happened is so rare. It didn't happen again like it for 40 years.
Wow.
It was March of 1984. Probably not the top of the news since it doesn't help the story that some people want to tell.
Something else about, can I mention another grocery thing that I think I even maybe mentioned to you outside of the podcast a couple days ago, where I really notice the price of things going up.
Yeah.
Will be when I go to buy something that I haven't bought in a long time.
Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm.
When my kids were growing up, we always had a bottle of chocolate syrup in the refrigerator. Somebody might want
like
a little
Hershey's,
chocolate milk, or you
in
might want it on a little ice cream or something like that. And then when my kids were all, grown and gone, I just stopped. I didn't buy that as much. I didn't really have a need for it. And so I went to buy some the other day because there was a coffee drink that I wanted to make. A bottle of chocolate syrup was $8.
You're kidding me.
I'm pretty sure that...
You mean just that brown bottle like
just
Hershey's
the brown
syrup?
Plastic bottle of Hershey's syrup.
Wow.
I wasn't at a discount store, but I wasn't at the I was just at the grocery store. Just the normal grocery
store. That's weird. See, that falls in a I have no idea what stuff. I know cereal costs a lot. I know that anything detergent costs a lot.
Yeah.
I know
it does
paper
cost
products
more, for sure.
Paper products can cost a lot. I don't really know, but you said $8 for
like
chocolate?
$7.99 for a bottle of chocolate syrup.
That's crazy. Now, this that I'm talking about may seem to fly in the... What's wrong?
Nothing. Just...
Without too dismissive?
No, not at all. I mentioned that, and I wonder if that matters at all to anybody.
Sure. No. I think the point you're making is a great point.
Yeah.
That when there's something you haven't bought in a while, you go, "Ooh, are you kidding?"
Yeah.
It's like there are things like that I buy, and I do buy them like that. I do buy them so infrequently,
sporadically, maybe.
Or it's like, I'm not in the mood for it. When all of a sudden, I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
And then you buy and you go, I don't remember this.
I didn't buy it.
Remember. Oh, you didn't?
I
for
left
real?
it there.
Aww.
No.
Real bad.
Maybe I'll reconsider, or I'll shop for. I'll see if I can find it cheaper somewhere.
All right. Well,
maybe on the chocolate syrup black market or something.
Yeah, right. There's probably black market. See, I go nice little. We've talked about don't ride the roller coaster. So it may seem like I'm riding the roller coaster because I said, hey, tap the brakes on all that stuff. We're not going to fool with it until July the 20th. So 6 months into President Trump's, because everybody's saying, you said you're going to bring the price of egg down day one. I'm saying, don't ride the roller coaster. You may seem like I'm doing that, but I'll give you a little piece of good news. But it is a reminder that was really the right way to think of it. The right way to think of it was just stop freaking out about stuff. Let's look at it 6 months in. Let's look at it 9 months in. Let's look at it at the 1 year mark. Even, you remember when JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, and everybody was freaking out, recession prediction. JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have increased their likelihood of a recession from 42% to 68%. Well, they just brought it way back down. Barclays too. It's just like, stop with all the angst. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I'm not saying everything's perfect. It's not perfect, but it's going to be okay. I just wait and check and see 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. And we'll do the same. Just thought I'd mention good news because I know people freak out about the price of eggs. And the decline was, Huge. I mean, more than we've had in 40 years.
It's crazy.
That is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. See if anybody's telling you the good news about eggs. You say, you ever grow up with people say eggs instead of eggs? Like eggs.
When you talk about the decline, though, doesn't that speak to how high they'd gone? I mean, how high the price had gone?
Could.
I know it's been a long time since there was that steep a drop.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that really speaks more
to the differential as opposed to
how high the price had gone.
Oh, back then we didn't even know about bird flu. We didn't care about that.
That's true.
We weren't like destroying, all your little friendly chickens running around, cage free, giving each other bird flu.
Making them wear masks.
Their little masks. And then their beaks will peck right through and they're breathing all over each other. Then we have to destroy them all.
No.
So, yeah, maybe so. But the bottom line is good news. That's what I'm saying. Good news and better news in a long, long time. Remember that story about the pagers in Israel, and they used the pagers or whatever they were to blow up all the Hamas guys?
I do. That was wild.
And the pagers that had all been fitted with explosives long before they were used. Mm-hmm. I mean, to have them in the hands or on the hips or whatever, in the pockets of the Hamas boys, I assume they're all guys that were blowed up. But anyway,
I would think.
Probably. Especially that you talk about patriarchal society, those guys.
Yeah.
So to have the explosives in the things, to have the people with the things and the explosives in the things, they have to do it way back here, right? Mm-hmm. And it's got to, time goes by and distribution, got to get them all the bad guys. They got to wait. And then you're going to put in whatever is the code or whatever and send it and they all blow up. That is what some people have concern about, this 747-8.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, the luxury jet that Qatar wants to give the president. And even people that are pretty hardcore MAGA people are going, it's not a good idea. We talked a little bit about it before, but I just wanted to say that I did hear this last few days. First, that plane would have to be completely taken apart.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. See, if you don't think about it the right way, you think, if the president's been waiting for a new one and we can't seem to get it done, Qatar has a 12-year-old plane. They say, here, take my plane. And we go, okay, well, that's what I'm going to use it. No, there's anti-missile. There is military stuff that has to be put into the plane. You have super special communications that are shielded, so it creates like a White House in the air if that is ever needed.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, well, what is really the point then? They give us the shell. Still going to have to be like totally gutted. Mm-hmm. So what is the point of that? So I don't really know what the value of the plane, even would be, given that you would have to do all that. All that would have to take place. But even conservatives are poo-pooing the idea. So we'll see. But that's still put a little bow on that from last time.
We don't need it, right?
No.
I mean, we've got all that covered.
No. The thing is, though, that this guy, he likes when people, bow to him and say, oh, great one, that kind of stuff. He likes when, I went there and they had a big parade and they brought the horses out and the guys with the swords and they were even riding camels. Like, who cares? It's all that pomp and circumstance that really does impress him. When I went to so-and-so, they only had so-and-so meet me at the airport. These guys had, I walked on diamonds or whatever it was that made it special to be at the new place. But these guys are not good guys.
No.
They fund terrorism. I mean, it's just, you got to be really, I mean, I do not have a good feeling about it. Mm-mm. And a whole bunch of Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, their little heads are exploding right off the top, just blowing up. Because they're going, what is with having to snuggle up to these guys? These guys are bad guys. Mm-hmm. I remember being young in high. Stop right there. I remember being young and thinking that sometimes I knew girls who would talk about their boyfriends and they would say things like, but he's really nice to me. It didn't matter that he wasn't a nice guy.
Like, he's really nice to me.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Being friendly and being nice, being a good guy, and knowing how to behave in a certain circumstance are completely different, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not, these guys are not I don't want Trump to date these guys. Mm-hmm. There are good guys in the world. And these guys are not good guys.
Is there anyone who has his ear
Anyone who tells him his hands are big, he's got, he's great.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is what gets his attention. I don't know. It makes me nervous. I wish I could feel it was totally principally driven. I'm not saying, I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't believe it would be better with President Harris. And by the way, more on that coming up. But Jake Tapper's new book, oh man, we got to talk a little bit about that. When you look at, it's Jake and Axios, Alex Thompson. I've always loved that guy. I had no idea he was working on a book with Jake Tapper. Oh my gosh, I always loved hearing his reporting from Axios. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But I just don't. I'm not confused. I don't believe we'd be in a better situation if we had President Kamala Harris. But I'm just nervous. I'm nervous about all the loving on people that are really not good people. They're really, really bad people.
Well, that's a sign of discernment, right? Not believing that everything.
No, yeah, for sure. Just because I voted for whatever, whoever you voted for, whoever you think was the lesser of evils,
that
whatever.
You have to back all of the decisions made by that person.
Anyway, I hope it. Don't take the plane. Let's move on.
The fastest growing city in the United States is right here in Texas. Not just right here in Texas. It's right here in North Texas. Do you have a guess?
Okay, I'm gonna deduce here. Is that okay?
Sure.
It's into the sick mind of the host, one of the hosts.
Actually, we have the fastest growing city. The state of Texas has 7 of the 15 fastest growing cities in the entire United States.
Makes sense.
A handful of them are right here in North Texas. So you might, if you don't get number 1 right, it's probably, somewhere in the top 15.
Okay, let's deduce for a second. No offense, Tarrant County and Denton County, but I just know the growth pattern right now. I would say it's probably not Dallas County, but it is on the eastern side of the Metroplex, and it is on the northern side of the Metroplex. So now it's not Frisco because they've already grown so much that it's hard to. I mean, you can't grow 100% if you're already so big, right?
They
Same thing
already
you were talking
had
about before about the egg
their
price.
time in the sun of fastest growing cities. Yeah.
Like you were talking about the price of eggs. It went this because it was that. If you're a really small place and you double, and now you're at 7,000 people. Well, 7,000 is not big, but it may be fast growing. So I would say you got Anna, Melissa, talking about on the way to Sherman-ish area. It's not Allen. I'm going to say it's got to be west of there too. Thinking up, not off Central. I'm going to say. I think we talked about this off the air, and I guess so I'll tell you what a guess was. My guess is Salina.
Salina is one of the fastest growing, but the fastest growing city in the United States is Princeton. Princeton,
cool.
Princeton at the start of this decade. So in 2020, fewer than 18,000 people called Princeton home, and as of last year, as of July 2024, the population in Princeton had more than doubled. 37,000 plus people now live in Princeton. So just in that last year, it grew by 30% alone. That makes it the fastest growing city or town in the entire country. The other, so there were 15, there's top 15. The other 7 of Texas cities that were in that list, Salina, Anna, Fate, and Melissa.
Isn't that funny?
All several of which you guessed, and all right here in North Texas.
Well, and Anna and Melissa are right up 75.
They are.
And Farmersville is also up in there. I mean, those are all going to grow. Up 75. But I think Princeton and Salina they're up almost like up around Frisco-ish area. You don't hit Frisco when you go up 75.
It's an hour northeast of Dallas.
Okay, so it's a bit Well,
and then if you for the other 2 that are outside of the North Texas area, Hutto and Fulshire.
Hutto, I'm familiar with. I'm not familiar with the other one.
The western edge of the Houston Woodlands, Sugarland.
Oh, Woodlands, okay.
Sugarland metropolitan area.
Interesting.
Population was Wow. The population was 16,856.
16,856, okay.
In the 2020 census. And according to the 2023 census estimates, 43,317.
Good Lord. That's great and crazy. Although, I hope the people that are the city managers, that's the people I really feel bad for, are the city managers. The people that have to manage this growth. So I hope they all played Sim City. Because what I noticed was Sim City and Sim Farm.
That is how you train to be city manager, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I, because things can get out of control pretty fast in those Sim cities. You think, oh, you want to grow. Then you say, oh, guess what? We need better roads. Then you get better roads, and you say, oh, guess what? And all of a sudden, it's tough to keep up with.
Yeah.
Hey, look at all the traffic comes into our town. Yeah, but they're tearing your roads up. We have to spend money on roads. Oh, my. We build new roads.
You're already way outside of anything I would ever be prepared to think about.
Like Sim Farm. You got to have transportation to get your stuff off your property to the market. And then do you pave the roads? Very, very expensive to pave the roads on your own land. But if you don't pave the roads, how do you get your goods to the market in the rain and all that?
Out of your truck.
That's right. The truck. Then you got
in the mud.
And all of a sudden you go, I've got all these great crops, but my truck is broken. How do I get them out? And it's spoilage. You got to get it. Let's say and I'm not casting any aspersions. This is the way it is in small towns. You're a person who, is active in the community. You're on the school board or something because while your kids were in school and now the kids are grown, but everybody knows your name. And you go to church all the time and you see everybody, and maybe you own a restaurant in town or something. And so you see all the people and you're glad handing everybody. You built your brand. We didn't call it a brand back then. You say, I'm going to run for mayor or whatever. If you're the mayor of a small town, and I think it's the city council or the mayor or some combination, that you hire the city manager. The city manager is not elected. It's appointed, I guess, right? Is that what you say, appointed? But it's totally different when you're growing. Over 4 years, you double or whatever it is. Then what are you going to do?
Well, there have to be people, I would think, who are
know about it
with being able to not see the future, but to know what to expect.
I remember when Frisco had one high school.
Oh, I know.
And now they have like 10.
I know, it's crazy.
Insane. So it takes a couple of days to build a high school. And then you have the whole thing of zoning and the
who
districts.
Goes where
and who goes. Yeah. That's a lot of stuff to deal with when you're. I just wanted to move to this little town that had a good bakery, a little Czech bakery, and all of us look at what I'm dealing with now.
I know.
So congratulations, Princeton. It will be interesting to see, how that goes as they grow. When people talk about safety and security, national security. And any threats from our enemies, the bad guys in the world are going to attack us. What do we hear experts warning about? What kind of attacks do we hear experts warning about? Not so much, although we all remember September 11th, but not so much that kind of attack. What kind of attack would we maybe think, ooh, didn't even think about that, and look what happened?
Like a cyber attack?
Exactly. You've heard of EMPs, the electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah.
Electromagnetic pulse, the EMP bombs. Why would you fire one of those off? What is the most vulnerable thing? You're on Wall Street and somebody pulls the lever on an EMP. It impacts the stock market and everything else, but it does it through what? What is it that goes away?
Electricity?
Power grid.
Okay.
Cyber attack and power grid. When you have a device that has software, it has to be updated regularly. You know what I'm saying? Like your phone.
Yeah.
When you do that, you say, update it. You're giving some outside entity, Apple or whoever, access to change things on your phone.
Right.
Now, they're usually changing things, or they're improving it, or they make the device better, or they fix some glitch, or there's a patch because of some threat that has arisen. But that's essentially what you're doing. You're giving a back door or an open door to an entity to your device, right? If you do it on auto, then it's always open. It's like you gave somebody else the key to your phone, and they can come in and go out whenever they want.
Yeah.
Or if you've not done auto, you say, no, why don't you knock before you come in? I'm not going to give you a key. And so they knock, and then you let them in or you don't. This is why some people have problems with China. Think even TikTok. The fear that they will slip little things in that could be little tiny Trojan horses, maybe just waiting there, and maybe run in the background. Right? We've heard that before. They're tracking you or whatever, without you even knowing it. And then if in the future, sometime, they want to do something more with that access, it's right there for them. They're ready. That is the heart of, I say, the TikTok thing and others. Well, there are these, you've seen these solar farms and the wind farms. Okay. When that is collected, it goes to a power inverter. The power inverters that are used in solar panels and wind turbines, they are part of our power infrastructure. Yeah. They're also in heat pumps and electrical chargers for cars. These power inverters, and they are the links between solar or wind farms and the rest of the power system. They convert that electricity so that the wider grid can use it. Well, Chinese kill switches have been discovered hidden in American solar farms. Wow. Because China makes the inverters. So when you buy... Okay, so stay with me. So that has prompted a halt to the rollout of these renewables. And it's big in the UK right now, too, but it was discovered in America. So this is a UK story. Yesterday, their energy secretary was urged to impose, quote, an immediate pause on this green energy blitz that's going on there so they could have time to review whether UK solar plants are also at risk the way U.S. solar farms and wind farms are at risk. Man. So I know it sounds paranoid when you say, that's from China. We don't want this. We don't want that. I was like, dude, I'm just trying to watch a funny video on TikTok. Why are you slowing my roll, right? Yeah. And why are you killing me? I'm just trying to see this baby podcast or whatever, right? And so, but it's not paranoia. It's real. Sure. When there's no company in China that is based in China that the country does not have the ability to, the rights to get and fiddle with. There is no private property in China. Yeah. That includes businesses. Now, they may let you succeed. They may let you grow. They may have a reason to let you grow, make you famous internationally. They put their thumb on the scale. They pick the winners. They're using you. They're the company, I mean. They're for access to other things. And don't think for a second TikTok isn't just like this. Any of these things that are devised over there. So not all Chinese are bad. But I'm just saying, as a country, they're not our friend. They are not our friend. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Oh, let's go.
Wilder Show, Scattershoot. You just toss it up in the air and whatever lands. It's like, is it Mumbly Pegs?
I don't know.
What's that game?
Mumbly Pegs.
Yeah, look it
Never
up.
heard of it.
Look it up, Mumbly Pegs. Okay. You toss something up in the air, you toss it up, and then it lands, and you do something. Yeah, I think so.
Never
it's the kind of thing
it.
that our folks would have, 100 years, literally 100 years ago.
There it is. Mumbly Peg knife game?
Told you. Oh, Mumbly Pegs is the knife thing where you go between your fingers.
Mumbly Peg is an old outdoor game typically played with a pocket knife and sometimes a wooden peg.
Oh.
The game involves throwing or flipping a knife in various ways to get it to stick into the ground. Your parents let you play this?
Go ahead.
The name comes from a traditional, that's a no. The name comes from a traditional forfeit where the loser of the game had to remove a peg from the ground with their teeth, which would sound like they were mumbling. Yeah, right. I'm okay with never having heard of this before.
Better than removing a peg from your hand.
Well, I
with
guess.
a knife.
I guess.
Yeah, mumbly pegs.
Yeah.
So the knife goes up. It comes down.
Like we throw up all the stories
all
that
the
we're
knives,
going to throw up might not be the best way to say that. We toss them all up in the air.
That's right.
And
Mumbly pegs.
No, it's far more serious than that.
Okay. Knife sounds pretty serious to me.
It does.
Anyway, there you go. So that's what we're doing, and it's Wilder Show Scattershoot, and I have. Well, we'll get to my little offering here in a sec.
I'm just gonna come right out and say I'm saving what I think is the best for last. Okay, so stay with us or don't, but I think it's the best.
You're gonna miss it.
I think it's the best thing.
You don't even know what I have, but you already know it's better than mine.
I think I don't know what you have,
confidence.
but I do think you're going to really like the thing that I have. I think. I don't know. I don't really have to ask you this question because I kind of already know the answer whether or not you're a cat or dog person. Although we've talked about this before, and you did tell me that you had cats.
We did, and you made fun of me for not knowing whether it was a boy or a girl cat.
You didn't know if it was a boy or a girl.
Yeah,
maybe you weren't sure if it's
Ginger and Midnight were the cats' names.
So
but they were
was it
barn
the dog's name that you didn't remember?
No.
You might not be a dog person either.
No. How dare you? No, we had Donut, we had Muffin, we had Donut. Oh, yeah, I didn't remember one of the dogs' names. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I did. There's one dog. I still don't know what. I never went and like researched it afterwards. But that doesn't mean we had lots of dogs and stuff. And dogs were different then. They weren't. Nobody was sleeping with their dogs. And
dogs were different.
Cuddling
then.
up. A dog.
That is true.
I mean, we treated them like, I hate to even say this. I hope Charlie's not listening. We treated their ancestors like animals.
Imagine that.
So I don't. But cat. I was just thinking the other day. I actually was thinking, not about the podcast, just wondering generally, what makes someone a cat person versus a dog person. Now, I wasn't thinking about what are the characteristics of, which I know is what you're talking about, the characteristics of a cat person. Many cat people are this, many cat people are that, dog people, whatever. But I mean, what makes them that? I mean, obviously, if you were bitten by a dog as a wee lass, then you go, I don't like dogs at all. I mean, cats are so calm. That would make sense. But other than that, there are some things that are pretty common about cat people. Yeah. Now I have cat people in my family.
I do too.
Yeah. And but I'm not looking at correlation. Well, but cause and effect. And what makes someone a cat person? What makes someone a dog person?
And even when I say I'm a dog person, I'm allergic to cats. So I appreciate I appreciate other people's cats, but I can't even touch them. I mean, if I touch them, my hands burn, and then if I touch my eyes, it's over.
It's not like a breathing thing. It's like a hand thing.
It can be that too, depending on how long I'm around them. I can be in a house, and it depends on the cat, and it depends on how clean the house is. Like how recently it's been vacuumed. So I try not to. I've not been really scientific with it. Like to see how I can wait this long here. I can spend an hour here, but so a lot of it can be just what you can tolerate.
Yeah,
some people might be allergic to dogs, but cats, no problem.
Yep.
And also the research on things like this isn't perfect because it says a lot about who will actually take the time to fill out a survey.
I think cat people are more likely to fill out surveys than dog people.
Well, women are more likely to fill out these kinds of surveys than men are to see Who wants to know what I think about? Absolutely. I'll tell you what I think about so-and-so. Okay. This is kind of interesting though. Okay. So respondents to survey, this is one particular survey, but it mentions other surveys like this too. So respondents to this particular survey who said that they preferred cats tend to be higher in openness to people and ideas, and neuroticism. Okay. Now, in this case, that means don't make the news, just reporting the news. Sensitivity or nervousness, which really, I mean, I should be a cat person. I mean, if it's if neurosis has anything to do with it, I should be a cat person. While self-identified dog people tended towards more extroversion and agreeableness. I think present company excluded, most people would say I'm pretty agreeable. I don't know. But okay, so it makes it sound kind of like dog people are better than cat people. But wait. The same studies have also found dog people tend to be more dominant in social interactions and more narcissistic than those who identify as cat people, which I can't really figure out. But who am I to question? And cat people, at least in one study, were found to more than likely be female.
What would you say? Cat people?
Cat people are more likely to be female than male. But the survey respondents are overwhelmingly women, like I mentioned before. So
yeah, that's how they.
Yeah, I don't know.
How they measure that too.
Yeah, I don't know how what you're possibly going to take away from this, unless you're a cat person and you think, yeah, I'm pretty open and neurotic. That's me. That's me. Exactly. And you're a dog person and you think, yeah, narcissistic. That's me. I don't know. I just thought it was, the last paragraph though got me a little bit too. It talks about how all of these factors, along with pet experiences and even the internet's influence on companion animal culture, can affect whether or not someone says they prefer cats or dogs. Like somebody might, if they get the idea from something like this, that cat people they read that and they think open and neurotic. I don't want anybody to think I'm neurotic. I'm not even going to answer this by saying I'm a cat person. So it's all kind of weird.
I want to go on record. I am primarily a people person.
Oh, that's, very good.
Dogs and cats are good, but no, I'm not really a people person at all, as you know.
In that you prefer people.
Well, I mean, I value people. I value people quite a bit. Very high.
And above.
But I prefer almost no one. Gatherings are not my forte.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of gatherings. Really, of any gathering. Sitting at a table with 8 or 9 other people.
So it's a lot for you.
It's not that it's hard. It's just it feels like sometimes, depending on the event. Now let's take it out of the thing where we were recently, because that was a little bit different. Let's talk about when we've had to travel and go to this for business, and we go and we're sitting at a breakfast, for example, with 8 or 9 other people. And waiting for the staff to come serve, and everybody's chit-chatting. And my gosh, it's just you should hear what we just had to edit out.
It's for your own good, I promise.
Yeah, keep listening to the end. You might hear some of it. Jake Tapper. I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of Jake Tapper. Always. ABC Days, I thought were better.
White House reporter.
Yep. ABC Days, I thought were better than the CNN days.
Is that because you didn't really know how he felt about stuff? Or maybe you felt like you weren't really sure how he felt about stuff?
Honestly, I felt like that when he went to CNN, I didn't think he was sort of hardcore ideological. And I still don't really believe he is necessarily. And for all the people who think that he is, have you seen his book that is coming out called Original Sin? All these people who say, oh, these CNN hosts, they can't be critical of a Democrat at all. Really? Please at least read the excerpts on him. And I'm no Jake Tapper defender. There are a couple of people I like to watch at CNN. I don't care about their personal stuff. I don't care about all this stuff. I know he has very few viewers anymore. But I like Anderson Cooper. I think he's a solid guy. I mean, solid, reporter professionally. I like Jake. I enjoy watching Jake. I love John King, of course, as we've talked about many times. That's sort of it on the favorites there. There's a guest that Jake had not Jake, just all of CNN. He was on CNN quite a bit, named Alex Thompson. Do you remember who that is? Do you remember seeing anything about Alex Thompson?
Not really.
Alex Thompson is a reporter for Axios.
Okay.
Axios is a news gang. He is the co-author of the book from Jake Tapper that's coming out on Tuesday called Original Sin. This book is all about how Joe Biden had lost it and how everyone was hiding it from everyone. And you think, well, that's the kind of book a Fox News host would write.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that's a CNN guy who's writing that. But can I share some of the things from it? There was a fundraiser. You remember this, when George Clooney put on in Hollywood, and it was a fundraiser for Biden when he was running. And Clooney and Biden had known each other for 2 decades, before this high-profile California fundraiser. But this is from the piece, Biden's diminished physical appearance was a wholly blank moment for Clooney, who hadn't seen Biden since 2022, according to an excerpt from the book. For Clooney and many of the Democrat supporters of the president, Biden's appearance was a jarring sign of his physical and mental decline just before Biden's disastrous debate performance that would lead him to drop his bid for re-election. Listen to this. The book quotes an aide telling Biden when he saw Clooney, whom he had known for 2 decades, at whose fundraiser Biden was making an appearance. So Clooney is the host of the fundraiser where Biden is arriving, and an aide says to Joe Biden, President Biden at the time, when Biden sees Clooney, the aide says, "You know George Clooney." The aide had to clarify after it seemed obvious that Biden did not recognize or realize which George he was looking at. "Oh, yeah," Biden said. "Hi, George." Clooney was shaken to his core. Tapper and Alex write, the president hadn't recognized him, a man he had known for years. Clooney had expressed concern about Biden's health before. A White House aide had told him a few months before that they were working on getting the president to take longer steps when he walked. But obviously the problem went far beyond his gait. This was much graver, Tapper and Thompson report, adding that others at the fundraiser described Biden as slow and almost catatonic. It was, to some of them, terrifying. Isn't that something?
Wow.
Original Sin publishes next week. And it's based on interviews with more than 200 people, mostly Democratic insiders, with knowledge of the events that unfolded during the final 2 years of Biden's presidency. I sort of understand about protecting an old soldier in his last days. I get that. I really do. You got a guy who's been, from their perspective, a guy who's been faithful. He's a faithful, soldier on the left, and he's finally got to be president, and now he's gonna in one term he's gonna be done, and so we're gonna protect his last little bit.
Right.
The problem is he had according to the book, he had a very, very small circle of people who would filter the things that he saw. There were people at high levels of the administration that did not see him for months. So these decisions or these pardons or these executive orders that are from the president, we don't know. We don't know.
It's pretty scary.
So the people around him, if they are filtering the information that he gets, they are leaning that information to get a certain response from him. And even if he doesn't give that response, this is a guy that they said the president's good for only about 7 hours a day. That's it.
Man.
7 hours. They'd even looked into what if we need to get a wheelchair for the president. So I don't read many books.
I'm going to read that one.
I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it. If I have to buy it at the airport, I'm going to buy it at the airport. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it.
You mean not just carry it around and look like you're reading it?
Yeah, usually I do that.
You don't have to buy it at the airport. Just, one click, it could be on your door. What decade are you in?
Go to an airport to buy a book and then leave.
It's not the only place where you can get books.
It's the only place I see books.
I think the last time I bought a book at an airport, it was 1995.
I was thinking about traveling, and plus I want people to see me buy a book. It makes me feel smart. They say, look, that guy's buying a book. That's all I got on now, Jake Tepper.
Okay.
Isn't that fascinating, though? Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
And scary?
Very.
I mean, really scary. Think about it. All the people that said, hey, we don't know these We don't know these executive orders are really from Biden. It sounds crazy when you say stuff like that, but then you read this. That's the case. That's what it was.
You do wonder,
Jeez,
like,
Louise.
what kind of, did he get any kind of pushback on writing it from this summer when all of the fancy people go to Jimmy Kimmel's ranch in Montana or whatever to fly fish. He'll be there.
I know. Yeah, he's got the gang going,
which is fine. I don't care who he hangs out with.
Yeah, no, I know.
But
I think he's getting a lot of pushback, a lot, and it makes me like him more.
Me too.
I mean, I've always liked him. Oh, the pièce de résistance.
Yeah, I saved the best for last.
The best for last. Go ahead.
I got to tell you too. I might cry a little bit.
Oh.
I'm going to try not to, though. Okay.
What is this?
It's baseball. Speaking. Palisades Charter's baseball team gathered at Fairfax High.
This is high school.
Yeah.
High school baseball. Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Yep. Friday afternoon, Friday afternoon, for the finale of a regular season that was spent entirely on the road. Okay.
On the road?
Palisades Charter.
Oh, because their thing burned up?
15 of the 42 players who make up the school's baseball program were displaced in the wake of the Palisades fire.
Dang.
Staging a baseball season initially felt impossible for their coach. Navigating it required uncommon resilience. Completing it was a near miracle. So the Palisades baseball program was among the most distinguished in the area.
Okay.
Ran its practices out of public parks. This was after the fires.
Wow.
Needed permission from a rival school to host Senior Day. Its schedule, which continues with the start of playoffs that started just yesterday, required playing as the home team on 15 different fields. And yet, for a group of players who now attend classes out of an abandoned Sears department store, this baseball season, tumultuous and unconventional as it was, became a much-needed constant. It provided what their head coach, Mike Volkel, described as a sanctuary, a safe haven. Ian Sullivan, who's a senior first baseman and pitcher who lost his home, said people say it's not healthy to have something that you're so obsessed with that you can't live without it.
Sure it is.
Like, it's pretty good to have balance in your life, but with literally my life turned upside down, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have baseball.
Boy.
So they estimate that it'll be another 3.5 years until Palisades Charter High School is fully operational again. Its baseball program is in serious jeopardy even beyond that because the field miraculously survived the fires, but you couldn't get to it because of all the damage around it. And then rollers paved it over to make room for portable classrooms in hopes of getting kids back on campus as quickly as possible. So many of those who are connected to the program say that this could mark the Dolphins' last competitive season in a while, if not ever.
Now, real quick, that means that the freshmen this year, if they have a chance to get it done as quickly as 3.5 years, they would be seniors. So the juniors and the sophomores.
I mean, if they're finishing their freshman year in 3.5 years, they'll be gone. So a lot of them are deciding,
that's it.
Do they even want to stay at that high school? Or do they want to go?
No, they have to, in my view, they have to go where they can play baseball.
Well, and it's
if they have an option.
Well, listen to this. They finished it with a 17-10 regular season record. Punctuated by a mercy rule victory after 5 innings over the Fairfax Lions. Their first baseman, Roman Hawk, sent a ball an estimated 370 feet to left center field over a 20-foot tall chain link fence and beyond a black SUV that was parked outside of it. He was in tears as he gave hugs and posted for pictures after the play concluded. He lives in Brentwood, which is an area that wasn't even really directly impacted by the fire, but whose proximity forced him to evacuate twice. He's also seen some of his closest friends absorb the loss of their homes and practically every material item that they own. 3 of Palisades' 4 uniform sets were destroyed. 2 sheds stuffed with field tools, radar guns, buckets of baseballs, helmets. Most pressing of all, though, was finding a new place for them to play. Their baseball field, like I said before, it's set in a bowl surrounded by vegetation. It was unharmed, but the surrounding damage made it impossible to access. So booking umpires, making sure parents were, approved of their kids being at other places, coordinating travel for kids who were not old enough to drive, was a terrible challenge.
Nightmare.
Yeah. So practices were held at 2 public parks, the second of which was built for 8-year-olds. It had 1 batting cage that was always occupied. They used bucket lids for bases. Games were played on weekdays at noon or 1 in the middle of classes, often the only time that they could be accommodated. Schedules were emailed to parents every Sunday. The coach recalled one instance when the location of a game changed a dozen times within a span of 3 days. The hardest part, senior right fielder Logan Bailey said, was finding the will to get up every morning. Come out to the field and give it your all with everything else going on. A kid named Jet Teagarden was among the 8 players whose home was destroyed by the fire. In the 4 months since then, he's gone from living out of a hotel room in Marina Del Rey to temporary homes in Fairfax, Sherman Oaks, finally Mar Vista, where his family has a 1-year lease, so they'll be there for a little while. So he talks about the things that he misses about his old neighborhood where he'd park his car. This is where it's going to make me cry. Where he walked his dog, but what he regrets the most that in his rush to leave the house when he didn't really think it was that big a deal. So they were saying, you got to get out of the house. He didn't grab any pictures of his mom who died of breast cancer when he was 7.
Golly, dog.
He says he finds himself thinking about that often, and baseball has been a welcome distraction. He says, it's the best thing I have in my life. I'm so happy for the season right now.
Gosh.
Dodger Stadium will host the city section finals on May 24th. And if the Palisades Dolphins can win their first 3 playoff games, they'll play there for the first time since 2019.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, it's a really
baseball,
good
Baseball.
story. I think it's the combination of baseball and kids and how much anytime when kids work hard at something, it's just so moving. And when they've worked so hard at something in the face of all of that loss, I mean, and there's way more to this story than what I was able to tell. But if you send an email to podcast@wildershow.com, I will send you the link to the whole story.
Wow. Thanks for, you did save the best for last.
Oh my gosh.
Now we're all in moored. Thanks a lot, Lauren.
My pleasure.
Way to go. Well, that is, hey, who can top that? If you find us in the mornings, 5 to 9, on the Light app, the Light DFW, so get the app and join us. You get to hear Lauren every single day from 5 to 9 a.m. They let me tag along
too. Like it or not.
No, love it for sure. Great way to start the day. We get a chance to start the day with you that way. And the podcast. We love our time here. Hey, think if we didn't have the podcast, we would have a chance to tell stories like that.
I know.
I mean, the long form telling of things where things can breathe, where things can unfold. You can't do everything over an intro of a song.
No.
You can't do everything right before a Honda commercial. You can't do that.
Right.
Everything has its place.
There's stuff.
But this is an art. The talking is an art. To be able, I'm overstating it, but I'm saying the ability to just be the music, not just play the music, but be the music, and to have interesting conversations. I love this.
Yeah.
I really do love the chance to do this.
There's stuff like that too that when I read something like that, it means more to me if I can share it with somebody.
I know that's true. That's so true, and that's what I believe. Talk is an art. I really do. So thank you for letting us do this with you, and thanks for being a part of it. And really, thank you for sharing with a friend. I mean, this is if you water it, it'll grow. If it doesn't grow, it'll die, and we don't want it to die. Not a threat. I'm just telling you. We want. Okay, maybe a little bit of a threat. So tell your friends, would you? No, not a threat. I'm just kidding. I've been talking since I was 15 months old. My baby pictures have me with my mouth open.
They're all kind of blurry, or at the bottom of your face is blurry.
They're moving so fast.
Yeah.
No, but all my baby pictures have me with my mouth open, like I'm saying something.
Imagine that.
My mom said, we should have known. You go into a radio. Because every baby picture, it's like, she didn't say wouldn't shut up, but Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram. Search Wilder Show Pod, and you'll find us. Email podcast at wildershow.com. You want more of that baseball story, the sad baseball story, but we're going to hope for a good ending there. Podcast at wildershow.com. You'll send that, and we'll send it back to you. Wilder Show Podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. Please share. And we will see you again next time. My head is just exploding.
Why?
Did you want me really to answer it and be really honest?
Yeah, sure.
I don't find... I really don't. I don't. And I think what I find even...
We're going to have to cut all of this out.
You said to tell you the truth.
Well, I know. I guess I wasn't anticipating the truth very well.
How could you not know? You know that's true. Oh, gosh. You should hear what we just had to edit out.
It's for your own good, I promise.
Do